Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something that, well, it might just change education.
Okay.
Blockchain. Our source is blockchain's impact on education, and we want to figure out what this really means for you, for your learning journey, without all the heavy tech talk.
Exactly. Yeah, let's forget the whole cryptocurrency thing for a minute. We're focused on the core blockchain tech itself, how its basic ideas could really reshape learning, validating skills, managing our educational lives, basically.
Okay, right. So let's start there. What is blockchain like in simple terms? Especially for education, I hear digital ledger, but what does that actually, look like for my degree or something?
Okay, yeah. Imagine like a shared digital notebook, but one that's incredibly secure. Instead of your school records being stuck in one place, maybe vulnerable, maybe hard to get to,
Right.
they're copied and recorded across lots of computers, all at the same time, in these things called blocks.
Blocks. Okay.
Yeah, and these blocks are chained together with really strong coding. Think of it like digital seals you just can't break. And this chain, this blockchain, makes it almost impossible to secretly change anything if someone tries. Everyone else on the network sees it instantly.
Okay. So it's like everyone involved has a secure, see-through copy of the important stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So how does that make student records safer? Data breaches, they're everywhere now.
Well, precisely because the data isn't all in one basket, it's spread out. And each block has that super strong digital seal. It just makes it incredibly tough for hackers. If someone did manage to tamper with one copy, the rest of the network goes, hang on, that doesn't match, and rejects the change. It's got security sort of built right in. It's a game changer for protecting, sensitive academic stuff.
Right. Okay, I get that. And what about actually proving what you know? The source mentions verifying academic credentials. We've all done that whole transcript chase, right?
Yeah.
How does blockchain help there?
Yeah, that's a really interesting part. The potential for tamper-proof digital diplomas and certificates stored right on the blockchain.
Digital ones, okay.
Exactly. Forget paper copies that someone could maybe fake. Employers, other universities, they could instantly check your qualifications against this shared, unchangeable ledger securely.
Wow.
It just cuts out so much time and hassle and, adds a huge amount of trust. Think about applying for jobs, how much faster that could be.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly useful. Okay, now, decentralized educational systems. Sounds
Yeah.
kind of big. What's the benefit there for someone just trying to learn stuff?
Right. Well, if you zoom out a bit, blockchain could sort of pave the way for education that's more focused on the learner. You could potentially have more ownership, more control over your own learning data, maybe a wider landscape of learning options, not just relying on the big traditional institutions for everything.
Interesting idea. And the source also talks about micro-credentialing and lifelong learning. That's something I'm definitely interested in. How does blockchain help with, recognizing smaller skills?
Yeah, this is really valuable, I think, for keeping skills up to date. Blockchain gives you a secure way and a portable way to document and prove you've gained smaller specific skills, these micro-credentials.
Okay.
So maybe it's not just your degree. You could have a verifiable record showing you nailed a specific coding course or mastered a certain project management technique.
Right.
And because it's on the blockchain, it's easy for others to recognize. It builds up a really full picture of your abilities, across your whole career.
A verifiable, lifelong skills record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes way more sense for how careers work today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how does this fight fraud, like those fake diploma stories you sometimes hear about?
Well, it comes back to that transparency and the verifiability, right? It just makes fraud much, much harder.
How so?
Every credential issued on the blockchain has this clear, traceable history back to whoever issued it. Anyone can check it independently. So the chances of a fake diploma or some dodgy application getting passed, they drop dramatically.
Makes total sense. Online learning platforms were mentioned briefly, too. Could blockchain help make those more trustworthy?
Yeah, definitely. In online learning, blockchain could boost trust in a few ways. Imagine having verified identities, knowing for sure who the students and instructors are, secure protection for course materials, maybe transparent tracking of your progress, all logged securely on that unchangeable blockchain record.
Got it. Now, it can't all be perfect. Are there downsides? The source mentions limitations.
Sure, yeah, that's important. It's not all straightforward. While the potential is huge, there are definitely hurdles, like can these systems actually handle the sheer scale of educational data?
Right, the volume.
Exactly. And how complex is this going to be to actually integrate this new tech with all the systems schools already have? Those are real challenges.
Okay. And is this all just theory? Or is anyone actually using blockchain in education now?
No, it's starting to happen. We are seeing some institutions beginning to explore it. They're running pilots, especially for things like issuing those digital diplomas we talked about, or managing student records more securely. But, widespread use, still pretty early days.
Right. So looking ahead then, what's the kind of future trend here?
I think we can expect to see more development, more applications popping up, things supporting more personalized learning paths, perhaps, definitely more secure student-controlled data, and broader ways to recognize all sorts of learning beyond just the traditional degree.
Okay, so wrapping up, the big takeaways seem to be better security for our records, a more reliable way to prove our skills, and better support for learning throughout our lives.
Exactly. It really boils down to building an educational world that's more secure, more transparent, and ultimately, yeah, more empowering for everybody.
So for you, the listener, maybe think about this. How could these ideas, security, transparency, decentralization, how could they reshape not just how you learn, but how you actually demonstrate what you know and can do in the future? It's quite a fundamental shift to consider. Thanks for diving deep with us today.